Naruto looked down at the test and could not understand why the test was so difficult. Why are they asking about how I should act towards a cage delegate when guarding the Hokage? That was never covered even when I was sleeping, I'm sure of it. Why do they want to know the economic impact of a war upon a village as opposed to general skirmishes? Why do they want the battle order for a pincer maneuver when you have inferior forces but superior terrain? These are not genuine questions. What is going on? Naruto thought to himself as he overviewed his test. Hinata looked over at a very frustrated Naruto. What is wrong with Naruto-kun? Hinata thought to herself, as she looked at his test. Her eyes opened wide as she saw the questions on his paper. She looked quickly at her own, then towards several others. Every test in the room was exactly the same except for Naruto's. Naruto's was different. She slipped her hands below the desk and did several hand signs and activated her Byakugan, and then she examined Naruto's paper. It was the same test as everyone else had. A genjutsu had been placed on his test. Why would they do that? Are they trying to get him to fail? Hinata Hyuga, please deactivate your dojutsu, since we do not want you to cheat. Iruka commented as the thought crossed his mind. Why is she looking at Naruto's test? Hinata worried so much about how Naruto was doing that she forgot to answer most of the questions on her test. Please put down your pencils, since we need you to go out to the training field for your practical skills test. Mizuki-sensei will do the grading for that while I correct your tests. Good luck, and I'll see you when you come back here. I should be finished grading your tests by then, and then we can do the ninjutsu portion of the exam. Iruka happily explained. Out in the courtyard, everyone was given a set of kunai, shuriken and senbon. Hinata at this point was livid about what had been happening. Either Iruka was too busy or didn't care that Naruto was being singled out to fail. She used her Byakugan to quickly inspect all of the weapons that the students were given. Sasuke Uchiha was given the mint condition equipment for his round of the test. Hinata noticed that her equipment, along with Naruto's, were at the bottom of the quality list, with Naruto's not even good enough to be melted down for replacement equipment. Hers were better, but the others had better equipment. It was as if both she and Naruto were being set up to fail. She decided to speak up and stand up for her and Naruto's rights. Excuse me, Mizuki-sensei, why did Naruto-kun and I get equipment of such inferior quality? Hinata asked, a bit of anger evident in her tone. Mizuki looked annoyed for an instant before he put a smile on his face. I am sorry, Hinata-sama, but I gave out the equipment in a random fashion. If you would like, you could take 10 points off your grade and get some new equipment, and possibly lose your place as you can't be late when I call your name for your test. Mizuki answered authoritatively. Naruto became angry for a second, but then calmed down, as did Hinata. Why is she trying to help me? I knew this would be an uphill battle for me, but why would she jeopardize her chances to help me? Could it be that she likes me? Naruto thought to himself. Naruto inspected his equipment and found all the equipment dull and rusty. Even the senbon were bent. Naruto took the time to bend the senbon back as straight as possible. He noticed Hinata had similar equipment, but not as bad as his. At least her senbon were straight. Mizuki called each of the students for their turn. Sasuke got the best score while Hinata and Naruto placed at the bottom. Mizuki hid his anger that the demon had made a passable grade on the weapons test, even with such bad equipment. He didn't notice that all of the kunai and shuriken that Sasuke had used were now missing. With no stealth or speed tests, the students then moved to the taijutsu portion of the test. Naruto was pitted against Sasuke and lost miserably. He was hit just before Mizuki had said start and Mizuki didn't even lower Sasuke's score for cheating. Hinata ran into a similar problem with Am, who was the top-ranked female student in the taijutsu area. Hinata was so angry at what was happening that she sat down next to Naruto and didn't even notice until he put a reassuring hand on her shoulder. It's okay, I guess I'm not the only one who is being singled out for failure, sorry. Naruto said, as his eyes showed a deep hurt and compassion. Hinata, in a move that surprised even her, put her hand on Naruto's, only wearing a slight blush. Thank you Naruto-kun, it means a lot to me that you would try to comfort me, she replied, then leaned her head on his hand. Naruto was confused now. Wait, I have only seen this when couples like each other. Does she really like me? But what about Sakura-chan? Naruto thought to himself. He then looked at Sakura only to see the most evil and angry look the girl had ever given him. Her clenched fist promised pain if she came close to him. Either she doesn't like me or she is jealous. Naruto then thought back to how she had treated him in the past. Naruto had tried to comfort her the way he did Hinata, but was only beaten for his trouble and had been given the very same look. Oh my god, she really does hate me. Naruto panicked in his mind and then looked down in despair. Hinata noticed the look Sakura gave to Naruto, and knew exactly what it meant. When she felt Naruto's arm slacken, Hinata looked worriedly at him. Gone was the smile, fear and desperation were all over his face. Hinata gently squeezed his hand and smiled kindly at Naruto in an effort to cheer him up. I hope I can help him to pass the exams. We are not doing so well, Kerr and I will not be happy. Neither will father, Hinata thought to herself. Naruto felt the squeeze of his hand. He looked up to see a kind smile from the indigo-haired girl. Is she trying to ease my pain? Naruto became excited at the prospect that someone actually liked him. He returned the smile only to get another gentle squeeze of his hand and a bigger smile. The class moved back into the classroom for the final part of the test, ninjutsu. Naruto was worried that he might not be able to pass this part and wanted to make sure he could do it right. Several students were called into the room with Mizuki and Iruka as they were asked to perform a clone jutsu for the ninjutsu part of the exam. Naruto entered and began to build up an immense amount of chakra. Hinata noticed the building chakra. That is too much for even 40 clones. What is Naruto-kun thinking? She thought to herself, and then activated her Byakugan to watch. She saw Naruto engulfed in a huge amount of chakra and then he attempted to perform the clone jutsu. This created a single clone that was totally pathetic. She read Iruka's lips only to see him yell that Naruto had failed. She also read the two teachers' lips to see that they were arguing about whether or not they should pass Naruto. In the end they did not pass him. Hinata was shaken by what she had seen and was called next. She couldn't calm her nerves enough to create a clone either and was also failed. Naruto found the tree swing and watched as other students celebrated the graduation from the academy with their parents. He then noticed a shadow standing next to him. It was Hinata and she wore the same dejected look he did. Hinata-chan, why are you not celebrating with the others? Naruto asked, not even realizing that he had added the chan suffix to her name. Hinata fought back tears as she pointed to the swing. Can I sit with you please? She asked, as she sounded a bit depressed. Naruto nodded as he heard an offhanded comment about him not graduating. Sure, what's wrong? He asked in a kind and gentle voice. Hinata sat next to Naruto, then slumped into his shoulder and began to cry. I failed. I failed. My father is going to me. Hinata cried as she sobbed into his shoulder. Naruto didn't know what to do, as he was used to failing, but he had no idea how to help other people deal with their failures. I failed too. Maybe I can get your dad to go easy on you, Naruto offered. Hinata's sobs lessened. I don't think you could help with him, thank you though Naruto-kun. Hinata replied and then hugged Naruto as a thank you. Both children broke the embrace as they felt someone standing over them. Mizuki had only planned to have Naruto to fail, but if he could take the scroll and bring a Hyuga along for experimentation, then all the better for him. You got a minute, kids? Mizuki asked with a kind smile. Naruto and Hinata looked up at Mizuki and nodded. The Hokage, Iruka and Hiashi all saw the scene, all scowled. Naruto, Hinata and Mizuki were gone a moment later. Iruka means well guys. He just wants you to be prepared and not be hurt when you become genin. I probably shouldn't mention this, but there is another way to become a genin. Mizuki stated with a smile as both children listened intently. Hinata could not believe how much stealth and speed Naruto had as they moved through the Hokage Tower. They quickly found the vault and searched for the scroll that Mizuki-sensei had told them to bring. Naruto saw a few scrolls that caught his eye, 2 were labeled with his name and 1 with Hinata's name, and he quickly pocketed them. He then found the scroll they needed. As they left with the scroll strapped to Naruto's back, Sarutobi appeared. Oh no, it's the old man, Naruto quietly exclaimed. Hinata looked worried. Oh no Naruto-kun, what do we do? She asked, as she started to panic. Her eyes widened even more as she saw the grin on Naruto's face, the one that she knew meant that he was going to pull a prank on someone. Naruto-kun, Hinata-chan, what are you doing in the tower at this late hour? Sarutobi asked as he looked back and forth between the 2 children. He then noticed Naruto's smile a little too late. Naruto moved his hands to make the ram hand sign. Transform! Naruto exclaimed, as he turned into a beautiful young woman with blonde ponytails and no clothes. The Hokage immediately flew backwards from the blood that gushed from his nose. Hinata giggled, since she had seen this before. Naruto grabbed Hinata's hand and began to run towards the exit. We need to get out of here and train, so we can pass the exam. The rules were not to get caught. Luckily he didn't say anything about not being seen. Naruto was panting, as Hinata lay near him, nearly unconscious. We got the first one. I know it's taxing, but we did it. How about we try this one? Corpse spirit sealing method, nah, sounds creepy and we don't have a dead body to seal, he stated, and then moved to another jutsu in the scroll. Hinata sat up, looked at the explanation and paled. Naruto-kun, that one requires you to die so you can take someone else with you into the belly of the Shinigami. It's a suicidal jutsu, so we won't try that one. I don't get it, Naruto-kun. All of the jutsu in this scroll are forbidden, and the explanations are quite explicit. The shadow clone jutsu we just learned is forbidden because it takes a lot of chakra and then will divide what you have left between you and your clones. You have a lot of chakra, but I don't have that much. My chakra control is all that kept me from dying from using that jutsu, and I even took a soldier pill. I can make one clone and you can make a lot more than that and only be winded. If I were to use this jutsu I would not be able to fight at all, since I would have nearly exhausted my chakra supply. I see only 2 more we could learn safely. They are, Eagle Eye, and, Shadow Clone Shuriken. Both have better requirements, but should not be used a lot. The drawbacks to the Eagle Eye jutsu are that you will have enhanced sight, but your close-range vision is nearly gone. The Shadow Clone Shuriken jutsu will allow us to make one shuriken into many, but if used too often you will again exhaust your chakra supply. Hinata explained in a way Naruto could actually understand. Are there any more benefits to the Shadow Clone jutsu other than creating lots of clones of myself and filling up an area with them? Lots of useless fighters would still equal close to almost nothing if I can't fight worth beans. Naruto stated in recognition of his own poor taijutsu skills. Yes. Anything the clone learns is transferred back to the caster. Also the mental fatigue will be transferred back to you, so if you have say 50 shadow clones, and dismiss them all at once you might suffer from overload from the feedback, Hinata explained. Now let's learn these two other techniques, so that we can pass this test, Hinata said, as she put her hand on Naruto's to trying to reassure him. He noticed the blush on both of their faces as they touched. They said each other's name at the same time, turned away and then they looked at each other only to see a blush on the other's face. Naruto recovered first. Hinata-chan, we need to get to these techniques down first, and then we can talk, he stated, as he smiled warmly at her, while the blush threatened to return. Hinata nodded and turned her attention to the scroll. Now memorize the hand seals first and then memorize the release seal for the Eagle Eye jutsu. This way you can release it, so we won't be hampered by it for any length of time, she explained. Naruto shook his head. First we should do the Shadow Clone Shuriken. It does have a higher chakra requirement, but it has less hand seals, so it would be easier to memorize. Then we can then do the Eagle's Eye technique, he argued. Hinata sighed, as she relented and positioned the scroll on both of their laps and they began to study the jutsu. 5 minutes later several of the trees were embedded with hundreds of shuriken and kunai. Naruto was so happy he kissed Hinata on the cheek. She turned cherry red and looked at Naruto in a daze. Naruto-kun kissed me, he likes me like I like him, Hinata whispered happily in her dazed state. Naruto wore a confused look on his face. Hinata-chan likes me. If Hinata-chan likes me, what about Sakura-chan? She could be cuter than Sakura-chan, and her treatment towards me so far is much better than the beatings I keep getting when I am nice to Sakura. Man, I am so confused. What should I do? I like Hinata-chan, but Naruto was brought out of his thoughts when Hinata's hand touched his face with a worried look. You do like me, don't you, Naruto-kun? Hinata asked. Her eye almost begged him to say yes. Naruto's face turned from confused and concerned to a warm smile she had only seen on a few occasions. Yes, Hinata-chan, I do like you, he replied, more sure of himself than he'd ever been in his life. Hinata smiled and as she felt a comforting warmth growing in her. He likes me. I must prove that we can be a good team. She thought to herself. Naruto-kun, we need to get this last jutsu down before Mizuki-sensei arrives. Hinata exclaimed. Naruto nodded, as they both learned both the engagement and release hand signs. A few minutes later both were smiling and embraced in a hug, as they awaited both Iruka and Mizuki to arrive. They had seen Iruka and Mizuki with the Eagle Eye jutsu. Iruka was a few minutes closer, but they were worried as Mizuki appeared to be decked out for war, not for a test. Iruka jumped down ready to tell the children that they had been caught when both smiled at him and said, Hi, Iruka-sensei. Are you going to administer the test when Mizuki-sensei also arrives? The question asked in unison by the children confused Iruka for a minute. Test? What test? Iruka questioned in his confusion. The special genin test, where we steal this scroll and learn 2 jutsu from it to pass. Mizuki-sensei told us about it, Naruto explained. Iruka looked at Naruto as if he had eaten a psychedelic mushroom. There is no test like that. Iruka exclaimed. Then Mizuki-sensei is coming to us and take the scroll then, Hinata explained with a dejected look on her face. Iruka pushed the children out of the way just as a dozen kunai embedded themselves into either Iruka or the shack that he was now pinned to. Well, you got part of that right, little girl. I did plan on owning the brat and taking you and the scroll as prizes, but it looks like I need to take out the trash first, Mizuki exclaimed. Mizuki, why would you have them steal? You were planning to take the scroll for yourself and them, weren't you? Iruka said in an accusatory tone. The pieces were beginning to add up. No, the demon brat, and thanks to your arrival, you're being added to the trash list. I was planning to take little Hinata here with me to Orochimaru, so that he could experiment on her, Mizuki explained, as he began to laugh. He then continued, both of you are idiots, and now I am going to finish you off. But first, Naruto, don't you want to know why everyone in the village hates you? Iruka shook his head, but he was pinned to the side of the shack that was nearby and could only exclaim, no, Mizuki, it's forbidden. Hinata looked at Naruto, while his expression changed several times, first from anger to worry, then to fear and finally to curiosity, as he finally nodded. Mizuki laughed and explained, the 4th Hokage didn't the 9 tails all those years ago, it's sealed within you. You are the demon fox, Naruto. Hinata watched Naruto's face change again from fear to frustration to anguish. Naruto clutched the scroll as he was suddenly hit by 2 bodies. He felt something warm drip on his face. As he opened his eyes, he saw Iruka looking down on him with tears in his eyes and blood seeping from his mouth. He also saw Hinata clutched onto him tightly. He looked back between the 2 of them as Iruka spoke. I am sorry, Naruto, that I wasn't there for you. I knew you were all alone, but I didn't reach out to you until now. We are a lot alike, you and I. We were both alone for a lot of our lives. I know what it is like to be alone. Maybe Hinata here will help you not to be so alone. Now take the scroll and don't let Mizuki get it. Naruto looked down at Hinata, as she nodded and helped him turn over to begin to run away. Hinata was in quick pursuit. Iruka pulled the Fuma Shuriken from his back and threw it haphazardly at Mizuki only to miss miserably. Mizuki laughed as he jumped past Iruka and said, I'll deal with you later. Naruto was leaping from tree to tree as Iruka pulled up beside him. Mizuki was lying to you, don't believe anything he says. Hand me the scroll, Iruka exclaimed, as Naruto changed his direction and kneed Iruka in the stomach. Both landed hard and rolled to a stop. How did you know that I wasn't Iruka? Iruka asked, as he transformed back into Mizuki. Naruto lay against the tree and took a deep breath and he changed into Iruka. He then explained, because, I'm Iruka. Why are you defending him? He's a monster. He will take all of his anger and hatred and pour it into the scroll and destroy the village, Mizuki exclaimed. Naruto heard this from behind a near tree and began to cry only to feel a hand on his shoulder. It was Hinata who reached down and hugged him gently. You will never be a monster to me, she whispered gently. You will always be Naruto-kun. You're right, that is what a monster would do, Iruka explained, as both Naruto and Hinata froze. He then continued, but that isn't what Naruto would do. He is Naruto Uzumaki from the village hidden in the leaves, and he is not the Kyuubi, he is its jailer. Iruka exclaimed. Naruto looked up at Hinata, who smiled and nodded to him. He does care, Naruto whispered, as Hinata again smiled and nodded. You know I was going to you last, but now you are just in the way, Mizuki explained emphatically, as he pulled the second shuriken off of his back and began to spin it. Iruka smiled, as he felt his impending death. Suddenly a shuriken flew past him as well as an orange object. The shuriken turned into 10 as several tore into Mizuki, and the orange object then slammed into Mizuki, thus it caused him to lose control of the large shuriken, which flew off behind him. Naruto stood over the bloody and injured Mizuki holding the scroll beside him. If you lay a finger on our sensei again, will you? Naruto exclaimed threateningly. You and that loser of a Hyuga tramp. Right, bring it on, I can beat you in one move, give me your best shot, Mizuki replied boastfully, as he stood up. Naruto crossed his hands with middle and index fingers extended in a half ram and half ox seal while he shouted, Shadow Clone Technique. Suddenly the clearing was filled with hundreds of Naruto clones. So are you going to fight me or are you going to just stand there? The Naruto clones asked, as Mizuki stood there, terrified by the sheer number of clones Naruto had created. Okay, here we come. Naruto exclaimed, as he proceeded to beat Mizuki into a living pulp. Hinata stepped out next to Iruka panting. Naruto-kun, looks like we both got one of the shadow techniques to work, she happily explained. Iruka looked at Naruto then to Hinata. Did you use shadow clone shuriken, Hinata-chan? Iruka asked, as Hinata nodded. Iruka shakily stood as Naruto dragged Mizuki and the scroll towards the two. I am very proud of both of you. I hereby pass you both, so you are now both genin of the leaf. Naruto, Hinata and Iruka were in the Hokage's office, all with smiles. The Hokage on the other hand was not smiling. Did I hear you correctly, Iruka? You passed them for bringing back a scroll that they both stole from this very tower. Sarutobi asked angrily. Iruka swallowed hard, but remained firm and replied, Yes, Hokage-sama, I passed them on the grounds that they learned a Jonin level, a Genin level and a Chunin level technique from the Scroll of Sealing. They used all three to defeat a traitorous Chunin. So you defend them in stealing their act of stealing the sacred sealing scroll? Sarutobi asked wearily. No, of course not, Hokage-sama, but they were tricked by a trusted figure of authority, Iruka replied in an attempt to counter the Hokage's argument. They should have thought it through and then asked you if there was such a test. As shinobi they should be able to discern fact from fiction, they cannot at this time do that, Sarutobi said in an angrily retort. So you are saying they should have known better? Iruka asked furiously. Yes, Sarutobi's one-word reply took all the wind out of Iruka's sails. Hinata was angry, really angry, and her dam finally burst. She then activated her Byakugan without thinking. Hokage-sama, I can understand if you deny me the chance to be a shinobi, but Naruto-kun was not given the appropriate tests, and neither was I for that matter. His test had a genjutsu placed upon it. Our weapons were rusty, blunted and bent. If you do this you show that you are showing favoritism rules here in Konoha and would prefer to have those that are showed favor as the preferred ninja in this village. Naruto-kun was failed by a test that was slated for him to fail, and for certain others to breeze by. Hinata said accusatorily. You are saying that I would sanction that one genin candidate would be favored over another. What evidence do you have? Sarutobi asked. Hinata and Naruto removed the weapons they were given for the exams out of their pockets. Iruka was stunned at the appalling condition of the weapons. Were these the weapons you were given for the exam? Iruka questioned, as the children just nodded. I'm sorry, but this is irrelevant. I'm sorry that you didn't pass, but you must understand that I can't show favoritism to either of you, Sarutobi replied with a sigh. Then you will have to strip Sasuke of his Rookie of the Year status, Naruto stated without emotion. And why should I? Sarutobi asked with a raised eyebrow. You said you would not show favoritism. He was allowed to use superior weapons in the weapons test along with a dummy that had magnets in it. He was also allowed to attack me before the signal was given during the taijutsu evaluation. I know he is better than I am at taijutsu, but if he is allowed to cheat like that, then you would be within your rights to allow our passage. His test was also already filled out. Naruto angrily replied. Look, Naruto-kun, I know you are angry and do not like Sasuke Uchiha, Sarutobi began, but was interrupted. It does not matter if I like him or hate his guts, he was unfairly helped to pass, and I wouldn't put it past Mizuki team to be the one who answered Sasuke team's test for him. I don't know why the village treats him like they all want to wipe his, and even worse than that, he expects it. While I, the one who protects this village from a ravaging nature demon, am treated like dirt. Why is it that I'm treated like a demon? I am not one, damn it. I thought of you like a grandfather, now I don't know. Naruto trailed off after having yelled at the Hokage. Hinata moved to his side, cupped his arm and then rubbed his back to try to soothe him. I don't get it. You say that everyone in the village is precious, but you let me be treated like shit. You allow that Sasuke to walk all over everything and do nothing. Silence. I have given you a lot of leeway, Naruto. The stunt with the monument the other day, all you got for it was a warning. Now I will allow you both to attend the academy for another year to try to take the exam again next year, otherwise you are now both civilians, Sarutobi said, as he pressed his fingers onto the bridge of his nose. I was going to stop pranks when I passed the exams. I don't know, let me think about it, old man. I have a lot to think about, Naruto angrily replied, as his eyes showed his anger towards the man. I agree, Hokage-sama, Hinata said, as her voice seethed with venom when she said the word, Sama. This hurt the old Hokage, but he knew the rules set down by the second Hokage. In times of war you can pass all genin you need, in times of peace you must only pass those that can pass the tests put forth by the academy. Very well, I will await your decisions. Iruka, I will talk to you tomorrow about team assignments. Also let Kurenai in as you leave, since she needs to hear about this from me and the children. Yes, Hokage-sama. I'm sorry, kids. I tried, Iruka said, weakly apologized, as he left and a woman entered the room. Kurenai-sensei, Hinata whispered and lowered her head. This time Naruto rubbed her back to comfort Hinata. Ah, Kurenai-chan, come in, Sarutobi said to the woman, now appearing to be in a happier mood. We have a couple things to discuss regarding your charge, Hinata Hyuga, Sarutobi explained, as Kurenai nodded. Well, both of these students failed the genin exams. They also both know about Naruto's condition. Sarutobi's statement immediately put Kurenai on guard, as she eyed Naruto. Hinata grabbed Naruto's hand for support and squeezed. He then continued, you see, they broke into the tower, sneaked past several Anbu, took the scroll of sealing and sneaked past me. They then proceeded to take the scroll to a secluded place in the woods and learn from it. Naruto and Hinata were surprised that Kurenai's eyes opened even wider than they even thought possible. She turned to them with an angry glare. Is this true, Hinata-chan, Naruto? Kurenai asked in an angry voice, as both nodded. Continue, Hokage-sama. Sarutobi nodded and continued, you see, they learned 3 techniques, Shadow Clone Shuriken, and Eagle Eye, from the scroll. Kurenai gasped. Yes, I know all are forbidden for a reason. They were supposed to turn the scroll over to Mizuki and show him what they learned. Kurenai eyed them questioningly. They apparently didn't have any common sense. The scroll was guarded for a reason and Chunin are usually not allowed to view it. So why would a Chunin want you to get the scroll and demonstrate that you can use forbidden jutsu? Sarutobi asked. How should we know? We didn't even know it existed before Mizuki team told us to get it and where to get it. We thought that it being guarded was part of the test. I swear this day couldn't get any more screwed up. Naruto yelled in frustration, as Hinata squeezed his hand. Kurenai scowled at Naruto, but showed some sympathy in her eyes. As Sarutobi continued, I am giving him a chance to go back to the academy for another year and try to become genin next year. I know that you wanted Hinata on your team. Are you going to pull yourself out and wait for her or go ahead and take the team we assemble? Sarutobi asked. One question first, if I may. Kurenai asked, as Sarutobi nodded. Naruto, Hinata-chan, can you both do all three of the jutsu? The Hokage stated. Both nodded in response. Describe each jutsu and how well you can use them, Hinata-chan first. Hinata squeezed Naruto's hand even tighter and swallowed hard. Well, Kurenai-sensei, I can make 1, shadow clone, the infiltration and information gathering solid clone jutsu. I can make 10, shadow shuriken, at a time. Eagle Eye is a jutsu similar, but different from my Byakugan in that I can see distance. The drawback is that you lose close-up vision unlike the Byakugan. Hinata explained, as Kurenai nodded. Okay Naruto, your turn. Kurenai prodded. Naruto squeezed Hinata's hand and swallowed deeply. He then began to explain, well Kurenai-sensei, I can make hundreds if not 1,000 shadow clones. The drawback to this jutsu is that my chakra is spread evenly between all of the clones. Using as much chakra as I do for my transformation jutsu, I can make 50 shadow shuriken, and I could do it all day. As Hinata-chan here explained, the eagle eye jutsu can allow me to see about 15 miles away, but I have real problems with seeing what is around me up to 200 feet away using that technique. Kurenai put her hands on her hips, turned to the Hokage and asked, and you failed these two, why? They failed the exam given by the academy, Sarutobi replied contritely. Yeah, after we had been sabotaged. Naruto angrily replied, while he again fished out the ruined weapons and threw them on the Hokage's desk. I was pulled out of class so often it is a wonder that I learned anything. With the use of my transformation jutsu I could go to the library and actually learn. The teachers gave everyone but me a book when I know damn well there were enough for me to take one home. The questions I got with genjutsu were of at least chunin level, heck you might not even have been able to answer some of them, old man. Naruto stressed the old man part. Given that you should have been able to overcome it, Sarutobi replied in an argumentative tone. I am terrible with chakra control and genjutsu. So how could I break a strong genjutsu without disrupting the class and getting kicked out of the test? Subtlety is not always my strong suit. Sure I can sneak around, but being subtle. Naruto questioned. He does have a point, Hokage-sama. If they want to wait another year I will take him on as their Junin sensei, Kurenai said. Naruto and Hinata took heart from this revelation. Very well Kurenai, you may go. Naruto and Hinata, will you take my offer of another year at the academy? Sarutobi asked, as both looked at each other and nodded to the Hokage. Very well, I will make room for the two of you to attend again. Please go home and do not speak of the Kyuubi to anyone other than each other. Do I make myself clear? He asked. Both children nodded as they left. Naruto walked Hinata home, as it was very late, and offered to meet her the next day for lunch at Ichiraku ramen shop. Hinata agreed quickly and entered the Hyuga complex only to find her father and several elders waiting for her. Naruto walked home feeling depressed, but also happy in the fact that he could still become a shinobi and that there was actually a girl out there that liked him and accepted him for holding the kyubi. Naruto had made it to the block he lived on when he was surrounded by several chunin. He was suddenly hit in the gut and across the face. Demon brat, you caused a lot of problems tonight. Now we need to teach you a lesson, a chunin explained, as Naruto attempted to pick himself up off the ground only to be kicked in the gut. Oh, no, you don't get away that easily, one of the brutes exclaimed. Naruto was beaten for the next 20 minutes. He was left bleeding and broken, barely able to move, as he began to crawl to his apartment. Hinata's happiness was shattered by the sight of her father and the elders. Why are you returning so late, and also why did you fail to pass the genin exams? Her father asked coldly. Hinata-sama, did you not pass the academy exams? One of the elders asked. Hinata's head drooped. No, sir, I did not pass the exams, she replied sadly. She then looked up to see a tear fall from her father's eye. There is nothing you can do to save her now, Hyashi. Take her to the chamber, the elder ordered, as a couple branch members sadly grabbed Hinata by the arms and dragged her away. I am sorry I could not save you, Hinata-chan, Hyashi thought, as he turned to go to his office, tears running down his face. Naruto woke to find himself in the hospital. Sitting next to him was Iruka, and at the drape separation for another bed sat Kurenai. She and Iruka didn't look happy. Hi Iruka-sensei, Kurenai-sensei. Naruto called out. Both adults turned to the blonde with concerned looks on their faces. As if Mizuki wasn't bad enough, both of you are now in the hospital, Iruka mumbled loud enough for Naruto to hear, as he heard a groan from the other side of the drapes. Yes, the same night that they beat a traitor down, both are struck down by their own people, Kurenai stated angrily as she pulled the drapes back to reveal Hinata in the other bed with a green tattoo on her forehead and sleepy eyes. Naruto immediately attempted to jump out of bed only to be rewarded by a sharp pain from his side. He looked down to see his right arm in a cast and felt the wrapping around his ribs. Naruto groaned in pain as he reached towards Hinata with his left arm. She also reached out with her arm towards Naruto. Kurenai chuckled and walked over to Iruka and whispered in his ear. After a moment he nodded and they walked towards the beds. Iruka pushed Naruto's bed towards Hinata's bed, as Kurenai pushed Hinata's bed towards Naruto's. Both beds clanked as they butted up against each other. Naruto reached over and grabbed Hinata's hand as she scooted into Naruto's bed, both wincing in pain. Now that's a cute couple if I've ever seen one, Kurenai commented. Iruka grabbed several scrolls that were on Naruto's nightstand and handed them to him. These were with your things and we wanted to make sure you got them. What happened, Naruto? Iruka asked. I had nearly gotten home when I was attacked by a bunch of chunin that complained that I had made the night difficult, Naruto responded, dejected and angry. Hinata gently squeezed Naruto as he winced at the pain but appreciated the attention. Confused Naruto asked, why is Hinata-chan in the hospital? Hinata began to sob into Naruto's chest. The Hyuga practice a sealing technique they use on the branch members of their family. It is so that their eyes and all that can be learned from them are destroyed when they die. Hinata was branded with this caged bird seal, and is now considered part of the branch family of the Hyuga. It is usually done when they are younger so the pain is not as intense. Hinata will not be able to speak for a day or so. Just comfort her as best as you can, as it seems that she likes you, Naruto, so please do what you can for her, Kurenai explained. Naruto nodded as he hugged her gently, and her sobs lessened somewhat. How can a family put seals on their kids? Now we both have them. I have a demon and she has that green seal on her head. Naruto shouted, angrily attacking the unfairness of the whole situation. So Naruto, what's in the scrolls? They do have yours and Hinata's names on them, I'm just wondering, Iruka questioned. Naruto shook his head as he began to open the first scroll, but found that it was sealed. I don't know what it is, and the darn thing won't open. Naruto complained. Iruka put out his hand. Let me take a look at that, Iruka said, then looked at it and saw a pin on the end and an area for a thumb to go on the scroll. Naruto, this is a seal. You will need to prick your thumb and then touch the area in the middle with your thumb. You then need to push a little chakra through your thumb, and it should open then. I wonder who would put a seal on a scroll for Naruto, it must have been the Hokage. Naruto followed the directions given to him by Iruka and when he pushed some chakra into the seal, it opened and the scroll unraveled. Naruto and Hinata began to read the scroll. Dear sweet Naruto-chan, it must now be your 10th birthday and Sarutobi is giving you this as the first part of your inheritance. Naruto-chan, please believe me when I say that I'm sorry I am not there to share your birthday with you. Let me explain a few things to you before I continue. I am your mother Kushina Uzumaki of the Uzumaki clan from the Whirlpool village. You should be proud that you are someone so very important. I am sorry I was only able to share your first few months or so with you. You are the most precious thing in my life. I hope Sarutobi and Hana have helped to take good care of you as Sarutobi did promise this for me, since I'm not going to make it much longer. Hana is your aunt and should be up to the job, since she has done it with me for the last couple of months. You should be living in the house with your aunt who is also a member of the clan. I hope they have treated you well, and tell Hana that she is an old bat for me. There is also the matter of your inheritance. You are the keeper of the Uzumaki clan holdings and it should be enough to let you skip being a shinobi if you choose until you are about 30, though I would advise against it. I have also sealed my sword into this scroll for you. Please find someone to train you in the basics of how to use a sword, as you will receive the clan techniques in the scroll when you are 15 and limited training from Hana just before you graduate, if you go to the academy that is. I'm so sorry that you have the burden that you carry. If Sarutobi has not told you yet, he now has permission to inform you about it. I hope you understand that you were loved. I wish so much that I could be there. Happy birthday, darling, I will always be there with you in spirit, always. Your loving mother, Kushina Uzumaki. Naruto wept uncontrollably, as he was now 12 almost 13 and the third Hokage had not given his this scroll. Hinata shifted closer and wept with him. Iruka took the scroll gently and read it. He handed to Kurenai as his anger rose. Kurenai read the scroll and then set it on the stand after rolling it up, as her eyes also showed her in a rage. Kurenai and Iruka stayed with the children for the rest of the day and into the night. Naruto and Hinata were discharged 2 days later. No one from the Hyuga clan had come to escort Hinata back to her home. Naruto had finally looked at the other scrolls he has acquired, when they had gotten the scroll of sealing. Naruto handed the one that was labeled for Hinata to her. She opened it and read the contents, then immediately fainted. Naruto, being worried, read it too, and joined her on the ground. Iruka, who had just arrived to walk Naruto home, picked up the scroll and began to laugh as Kurenai arrived. She looked at the children and then at Iruka, who handed her the scroll. She joined in the laughter. Dear Hinata-chan, as a 10th birthday present to you, your father and I are giving you a wonderful gift. We are also giving you safety from the caged bird seal. You are hereby betrothed to a one Naruto Uzumaki. You may want to get to know the boy, or you can just accept the betrothal. You may also reject this betrothal when you turn 15 and seek another suitor, but I must warn you that the council will have say over any other suitor you may end up with. Please be happy with Naruto-kun, as he will have had a hard life, and remember that we both love you. Irie Hyuga. Iruka had placed the two children against the entryway of the hospital and waited for them to wake up, only he placed Hinata in Naruto's arms in an affectionate way. Iruka-san, why do you tease them so? Kurenai asked in mild laughter. He has had it so bad, I just thought he should have something good to wake up to. It isn't every day you find out the girl who likes you turns is the girl to which you're betrothed. I do wonder why they did it. Naruto is an orphan without family, and I know he is part of a nearly dead clan now, but that still puts him at a lower station than Hinata. I would have figured that they would have put her in a marriage with a higher noble, or a more notable clan. I know there is animosity between the Hyuga and the Uchiha, so they would be out of the question, but there are other clans out there, or even a noble within the Hyuga clan. Iruka pondered the question he posed. Kurenai laughed happily. Haven't you heard the saying, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, Iruka-san? She asked, looking fondly over at Naruto and Hinata. Naruto woke up, then realized there was a mop of hair in his face and felt a weight on his chest. He smiled but wondered how Hinata had ended up on his chest. The only thing he could remember was seeing Hinata faint, then reading the note and then fainting himself. There were things that bothered him. If what was put in the scroll is accurate, then they should have never put the caged bird seal upon her, as she was already betrothed. Now she would be considered damaged, but not to me, since we are now more alike than we were before. I am sorry, Hinata-chan. You failed because the damn fox that is sealed inside of me, Naruto thought to himself sadly. Naruto, what are you going to do with this information? Iruka asked Naruto, as Kurenai also wondered. I don't know. The old man kept this from us, and I almost believe that he may never have wanted me to see these scrolls at all. Naruto said glumly as he fished the first scroll from his mother out of his pocket, then continued, I think I am going to read the other scroll, as it is supposed to be for my 15th birthday, but until then I should be able to keep the information secret. Naruto fished the second scroll out and began to read. His expression changed several times, from tears to out and out anger. Why the hell didn't he tell me this? Damn it! Naruto cursed. Iruka and Kurenai wore confused looks as Hinata was woken by Naruto's angry outburst. Tell you what, Iruka and Kurenai asked in unison. We can't discuss this here. We'll go to Hinata's house and get her set, and then go to my house. She can come along to my place if she likes, so that she can also hear about it, Naruto explained as he continued to wear an angry look. Naruto knew this information would come to no good if it became common knowledge. Hinata stood and helped Naruto up. The group moved through town to the Hyuga estate, only to find a small collection of scrolls waiting outside the estate, with Hiashi sitting on the porch, his eyes red and swollen. Hinata looked at her father with both anger and concern. What is it, father? Hinata asked angrily. Hiashi winced as father was drawn out by Hinata. Hiashi turned his saddened face towards Hinata and Naruto, but could not look them directly in the eyes. You both must think ill of me. I am sorry for both of you. I am sorry I couldn't stop the council from branding you, and worse yet, they have also banished you from the estate. They wanted to leave a branch member to explain to you what was going on, but I sent him away so that I could do that myself. Hinata-chan, you are now disowned by the clan, but not by me. I also have information for you, Hiashi said sadly. He then looked at Naruto, and continued. You're betrothed to this very boy here and you may stay with him if you like. I will make sure you have money, but I can't help you otherwise as the council will remove me from my position as head and brand both myself and your sister. Here are the scrolls with your belongings in them. I also included a detailed scroll on the workings of the caged bird seal. Naruto, if you could learn about seal and either alter or remove the seal, I would be most gracious. Hiashi stated as he handed Hinata a handful of scrolls. Naruto stepped forward and took the scrolls as Hinata was frozen with shock. What happened to Hana? Naruto asked out of the blue. Hiashi took a deep breath and then sighed. She died defending you when you were just 2. She died in the fire at the Uzumaki mansion, he answered with a heavy feeling in his heart. Naruto looked down as tears fell to the ground. They were the woman that was there to protect me and burn my house down just to try to the fox. Naruto growled as he clenched his right hand only to have blood begin to fall from it. How do you know of that? Hiashi asked. Naruto-kun and I both learned that he is the container of the Kyuubi the other night, when we defeated Mizuki-sensei, Hinata responded as moved to rub Naruto's back. Why do they hate me and those who care about me so? I'm not the damn fox, Naruto stated in a low growling voice. I know that, Naruto, and that is why Irie and I betrothed you to Hinata-chan. It was sort of a reward, in a sense and a way to muzzle those who thought of you as a monster. We set it up so that she could marry you and thus calm those in the clan to not hate you, Naruto. I know the council went back on its word and branded her, but that is why I am giving you the information so that you may be able to alter or fix the seal. I would just avoid main house members, Hinata-chan, Hiashi explained. Naruto handed a scroll to Hiashi. How much of this did you know? Naruto asked angrily. Hiashi read the scroll and then sighed as he closed the scroll. I knew most if not all. You're not supposed to receive this until your 15th birthday. How did you come by it? He asked. I acquired it when we took the Forbidden Scroll, along with the ones meant for Hinata-chan and I that we were supposed to get on our 10th birthdays, Naruto admitted with anger and sadness in his eyes. Well son, you are incredible that you have done so well given your circumstances. You may marry my daughter with my blessing, just be kind to her, as she has a gentle heart. Just know that I will support you in anything you do other than destroying the village that is. Hiashi stated with a smirk, and then added, I must return to my paperwork. I wish you luck, my daughter and future son-in-law. Hiashi hugged both of them, he then turned and entered the estate. Naruto, what is on that scroll? Kurenai inquired. We'll discuss it when we reach my apartment. Naruto stated as he pocketed the scrolls. A while later the group came upon Naruto's apartment. Guess you're going to be living with me, Hinata-chan. Sorry about the mess but it's all I have, Naruto said as he opened the door and entered as the others quickly followed. The apartment was a one-bedroom apartment with a small kitchen, a bed in the bedroom, a folding table, and a couple of chairs. Kurenai looked around and saw that the place was quite tidy for a bachelor's home, but she noticed a lack of much to clutter the place with other than the empty food containers on the table. Naruto, why do you have so many empty ramen containers on your table? Kurenai asked. And why do you have so much expired and spoiled food in your fridge? Aruka asked as he perused the fridge. Well, I didn't have time to clean, and that is all the markets will sell me, Naruto responded as he began to clean the containers off the table. I ran out from under one of the containers. Naruto looked at it with a bit of annoyance, and grumbled, "Dang bugs, I wish I could get rid of them, but I just can't seem to bring myself to them. I know of someone who might be able to help you get rid of them." Kurenai responded, and then asked, "The markets refuse to sell you good food. Is it because of your tenant?" "That's my guess. Yet again another way the fox is ruining my life without having to do anything," Naruto stated as he finished washing the table. He then apologized, "Sorry, I don't have enough chairs, but I don't get many guests and the old man didn't get me any other furniture." Aruka sighed at the revelation that Naruto's life was harder than he had thought before. He looked into the bedroom and saw the sheets were threadbare and a stack of scrolls against the wall. He also saw a large pile of used weapons. "Naruto, what is with the collection of weapons?" he asked. Naruto smiled at the question. "You know, shinobi really are wasteful, so I go around to all the training grounds and collect all the leftover weapons that are in good condition that they just seem to leave everywhere," he explained. Kurenai and Aruka were impressed with Naruto's ingenuity. "Kurenai-sensei," Hinata asked quietly as Kurenai nodded to her. "Is it bad that I have to live with Naruto-kun before we are married? And what can we do to eliminate the infestation?" "I know it isn't really Naruto-kun's fault," Hinata asked. Kurenai knelt down to Hinata. "We will take care of it if we have to pay for the work. Don't you worry, as you are going to have a life with the boy you love. Just don't have any children anytime soon. Because you're both too young," Kurenai warned as Hinata blushed profusely. She then added, "We do need to talk to the Hokage about what happened though." Naruto re-entered the room with Aruka and noticed Hinata red color. "Is she alright? Is she sick?" Naruto asked worriedly. Kurenai laughed as she stood up. "No, Naruto, she is embarrassed. If she is that color around you, more often than not, she's just blushing, it's a natural reaction. It is a sign of her liking you, and she is just too embarrassed to show you. Don't worry. It will lessen as she spends more time with you. It may never go away though," Kurenai admitted. Hinata nodded to the proclamation. "I will tell you when I don't feel good, Naruto-kun. It's just a little much for me to take in, that the boy I have liked for so long is going to be my husband and that I am going to be living with him," she explained. "I know. I'm sort of blown away by all of this too. Oh, you will want to know what is in the second scroll. I am so pissed at the old man now," Naruto exclaimed, as he handed Hinata the scroll, which she read along with Aruka and Kurenai. "Dear Naruto-kun, this is your mother again. Now that you are 15, there are few more things that I must tell you. First, you're a Jinchuriki, a human sacrifice, if they have not already explained it to you already. This means that a demon has been sealed within you. Don't worry, for you are not the demon, just the container of it. I'm so sorry about this. You also may not be happy with the second bit of news I'm going to give you. It was your father who sealed the demon fox within you, the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze. Please don't be angry with him, as he thought it was the only way to protect the village. There is good news though. I have talked with the Hyuga who just had a daughter and they have agreed to betroth the daughter to you as way of thanking you for protecting the village. They figure they will have another in a few years, but I'm sorry, as I will not be able to see that happen. Hana has agreed to keep you safe and make sure that you notice her when you both grow old enough to meet each other. Know this, Naruto-kun, your father and I both loved you and wanted the best for you. Sarutobi has assured me that when I am gone you will be taken care of. I am sorry that I will not be there for you when you have your fifth and now your 15th birthday. My only regret is how the village feels about us and the sacrifice we have had to make for them. Do not seek revenge for what has happened, as it will come to no good and only destroy you in the end. If you have not met Jiraiya yet, seek him out to train you as he did your father. Also seek a woman known as Sunad. Tell her, I sent you, and say, it is true. She will know what you mean and should take you into her home. Live a long and happy life, my son. With love from your mother. Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze. Iruka and Kurenai looked at Naruto, then back at the note. The boy was the son of the Yondaime Hokage, but no one had pieced the facts together. Naruto had the same hair as the fourth, the same grin when he smiled, and he may not have been a genius, but he was still quite bright. The biggest glaring point is that he was chosen by the fourth to hold the Kyuubi. He would have chosen his son before he would have chosen anyone else. Now it all made sense. Why didn't I see it all before? Iruka asked quietly. Why didn't anyone see it before? I guess we all just wanted to see what we saw and nothing more. I understand some of why he wouldn't have been told, as it would protect him from Iwa wanting to him for what his father did during the war, but why allow him lead such a pathetic and downtrodden life? Kurenai questioned. Maybe he was angry that my father left him to do all that paperwork. I don't know, but I am currently so pissed that I want to leave this village. As far as I can see, I will never be allowed to become Hokage. I am betting that even if we go to the academy for another year, we will not be allowed to complete the exam and become genin. Naruto growled in an angry voice. Hinata finished reading the scroll, and found a note hidden further down the scroll. I'm sorry Naruto-kun, but there is something more here for you. Hinata said, as she handed Naruto the note as he read it. Dear little Naruto-kun, it is with much sadness and grief that I have to tell you that your mother died from poisoning. The Hokage did not investigate it and I am very angry with him. I threatened to leave the village and take you with me. Also, the promised protection has yet to show up, as you have been attacked several times during your short life already by irate villagers. It was nothing serious other than bottles being thrown at you, but those could be dangerous. The Hokage did decree that you were to no longer be harmed, but I fear that the villagers will continue to attack you, as you grow older. Here are the directions to our house if you are taken from it. I have also included a detailed floor plan for both your mother's and your father's houses. Be safe, my little Naruto-kun, as we are the last of our clan. Also, you will need some blood to open your father's lockers to get the scrolls and open the secret doors. I have given these scrolls to Sarutobi in the off chance that something might happen to them, so he should give you them at the appropriate time. Your aunt, Hana Uzumaki. Naruto broke down at that point and wept. His mother was murdered and his aunt died for him in a fire. Hinata enfolded him in a hug as he continued to cry into her shoulder. Iruka and Kurenai unsealed the directions to the two residences and left the room. Both returned about an hour later and presented several scrolls to Naruto, who now lay on the bed asleep on Hinata's lap, then left the two for a while so they could rest. Iruka and Kurenai returned about an hour later. Naruto slowly woke as Iruka gently shook him. We got all we could from your family's homes. There may be more, but the Hokage would have access to that, Iruka explained. Naruto huffed as he looked at the scrolls. Thank you for your help. I guess we will have to go see to the old man. What do you say, Hinata-chan? Naruto asked. Why are you asking me, Naruto-kun? Hinata asked, confused. Because, if you are going to be my wife, then you and I will have to make decisions together, right? Naruto proclaimed. Hinata chuckled and then blushed. Yes, Naruto-kun, we need to make them together. I say we need to talk to the Hokage about this. He has denied both you and I that which we were entitled to receive almost 3 years ago, she said, as a determined look came over her eyes. Naruto sheepishly looked at Iruka and Kurenai. Would you guys come with us as witnesses? He asked. Iruka looked confused. Don't you trust the Hokage anymore, Naruto? He inquired. Naruto shook his head vigorously as he got off the bed. No, actually, I don't. He has come to see me once a month since I was 5. The orphanage kicked me out when I turned 4. I've lived on the streets for a whole year before he helped me. I know he was busy, but would the village do the same thing to his grandson? He asked with a hint of anger in his voice. No, Konohamaru has Asuma to take care of him if Sarutobi-sama passes away, Kurenai replied. And I had Hana, but she died. I was then left on the streets for a year and then, finally I was put in an orphanage, more than likely to be forgotten, Naruto said, as his comment cut deeply into both Kurenai and Iruka. They were beginning to believe that Naruto's faith in the Hokage was beginning to break, if it had not already been broken. Naruto then continued, then he glosses over things that we pointed out about a rigged academy exam. The precious Uchiha gets to coast by with cheating and having the instructors help him, while Hinata-chan and I are left to be taken away by the wind. Now we find out that he doesn't even give us scrolls that we were supposed to get years ago. What am I supposed to think? Well, he may have forgotten about the scrolls. Iruka replied in an attempt to defend the Hokage. Naruto put his hands on his hips. I have an orange jumpsuit that screams, "Here I am, me," as the gift he got me for my birthday. The goggles are a gift I found on doorstep on my birthday a couple years ago, he said as he adjusted the goggles. He smiled and said, I have to admit, though, the goggles look good on me. I've gotta find out who gave them to me. Hinata blushed and raised her hand while she got off the bed. I got you those, Naruto-kun. I was afraid to approach you, so I left them by your door, Hinata shyly admitted. Naruto looked at her and walked over and kissed her on the cheek. Hinata fainted back onto the bed. Naruto looked confused as he began to worry. Did I break her? He asked, actually afraid that he might have hurt her. Iruka and Kurenai both laughed at Naruto. No, Naruto, you didn't break her. She's just not used to close contact, and she was overloaded by what you did to her. Kurenai answered. What did I do to her? Naruto asked, as he still didn't understand. Iruka smiled and rubbed his finger under his nose, and answered, Naruto, she likes you a lot. She isn't used to close intimate contact, and you just kissed her. It's more like you made her dreams come true, and she can barely handle it. Oh no, Hiashi told us not to have children anytime soon. Now I've done it. I'm too young to be a father. Naruto exclaimed in a panic. Iruka grabbed Naruto by the shoulders and looked him in the eyes. That's not how babies are made, Naruto. We will have that talk in a few days, so that when you and Hinata actually marry you will be prepared. Mizuki taught that class. You weren't in it, were you? Iruka asked as Naruto nodded his head and Kurenai rolled her eyes. Did anyone other than you do anything right for the boy, Iruka-san? Kurenai asked. I'm not sure. Most of the other teachers kept Naruto on a short leash. The progress reports said he was behind but doing fine, Iruka replied. They would kick me out of class for asking questions, ignore me if I raised my hand to either answer a question or ask one, so I had lots of fun in class, Naruto stated sarcastically, then added, let's go see the old man now before I decide to pull a jutsu and give him a heart attack. The three of them waited for Hinata to wake up, and then the four of them walked towards the Hokage Tower as Naruto glared back at those who gave him dirty looks. This caused several civilians cringe in fear, but others began to chuckle along with Iruka and Kurenai as they made it to the tower. The group was let in after only a 5-minute wait. They passed Sarutobi's old teammates as they entered the office. Ah, Naruto, to what do I owe the honor of this visit? Sarutobi asked with a smile. Naruto pulled the note from Hana out and put it on the Hokage's desk. So when were you going to tell me? Sarutobi sighed. Well, you see, Naruto. Naruto slammed his hand on the desk. Don't lie to me, old man. I know my mother lived for around 6 months after I was born. You rescued me after I lived for a year on the streets. So why didn't you investigate the fire and how my aunt died? Or even my mother's death for that matter? He demanded angrily. Naruto, to be Hokage, you must understand about politics. I was forced to close those investigations, Sarutobi explained. Naruto wore a hurt look. You didn't even come to see me after those Chunin beat me up after the scroll incident. That hurt, old man, it really hurt, and now I find out that you kept my things from me. What happened on my 10th birthday? He asked. Nothing much, let's see, other than the festival. Oh, and then taking you out for ramen. Nothing really, Sarutobi answered. So you forgot about this? Naruto asked, as he pulled out the scroll he was supposed to receive on his 10th birthday, but hadn't. You were not supposed to get that, Sarutobi explained. Why? Is it because I have clan status? Or is it because I am the son of a Hokage? Or is it just because I am the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi and the bastards on the council don't want me to receive my birthright? It was my mother's dying wish that I receive this on my 10th birthday. So I'll ask you again, why? Naruto asked as he seethed from the anger that was welling up within him. Hinata noticed this and placed her hand upon Naruto's arm, calming him considerably. And were you ever going to allow me to find out that I was betrothed to Naruto-kun? Hinata asked with veiled contempt. You didn't only take the forbidden scroll of sealing, did you, Naruto? Sarutobi asked. Naruto shook his head. How can I trust anyone anymore? You lied to me, and you held out on me. I am sure now that my inheritance is nearly gone. My mother's house is burned to the ground, along with the life of my aunt. So, yes, I did take more than just that scroll. How long were you going to keep telling me that my parents died in the Kyuubi attack? Naruto pleaded for an answer. You didn't seem ready to learn the truth, Sarutobi explained. The truth. The truth is that my mother lived through the attack, as did my aunt. They were both murdered and you didn't lift a finger to help them. In my book, that makes you an accomplice. Did you think that you were helping me by not allowing me to know I was loved? Naruto asked. You are loved, Sarutobi claimed. Well, not by you. You lied to me, covered up the murder of both my mother and aunt, denied me a place in the ranks of the shinobi, and kept the fact that I'm to be betrothed to Hinata-chan from both of us. Naruto shouted, and began to cry as his resolve broke. He next said in a hurt voice, you didn't even try to help me with the villages. They always look at me with such hatred. Hinata pulled Naruto into a hug as she glared at the Hokage. As citizens we are free to come and go as we please, correct? She asked. Sarutobi sighed again. Not really, you are trained and know forbidden secrets of this village, making you prime targets for our enemies. If you were caught and revealed your secrets, you might put lives in danger, he explained. Hinata was not pleased. You deny us our birthright, and you allow Naruto-kun to be persecuted for something his own father did to him. To save the village, I might add. You hide the facts of 2 murders and think that your betrayal is nothing. To top it off, the academy tells us to trust those in authority. We do so and are punished for our loyalty. This village should have been leveled by the Kyuubi. Hinata exclaimed. Sarutobi rubbed the bridge of his nose. You are talking treason, Hinata-chan, he replied. No, I am talking justice. Naruto had no ability to stop what happened to him, and now you force him to be a prisoner in his own village, a village that hates him, save a few, Hinata scolded Sarutobi as she looked kindly at Iruka and Kurenai. How much of his inheritance is left? Sarutobi shook his head. This is going to be one big headache, he thought to himself, and then answered, not that much. So, this village has not only his relatives, scorned him, and beat him, but it has also stolen from him. Hinata accused. When you put it that way, Sarutobi attempted to explain only to be cut off by the angry Hyuga girl. My husband-to-be is distraught by what has happened in the last few days. You should be ashamed of yourself. How can you allow a village to take advantage of a hero like him? Hinata inquired. Well, part of the problem is that Naruto's inheritance was deducted from the pranks he pulled and all items that he stole, Sarutobi answered. Have you seen his apartment? He has old and expired food. He has few, if any, belongings. So what is it said that he has stolen? Hinata defended. The list actually is quite large. It covers everything from food to weapons, and even furniture, Sarutobi answered. He has 2 chairs, a table, a bed, a dresser, and some very old appliances. Where is he hiding these so-called stolen items? Hinata inquired. Sarutobi glared at Iruka and Kurenai, who both put their hands up in submission. Hinata, you are saying that there is a conspiracy to steal from Naruto? He asked. I say there is, and you are part of it. If not an active part, then you are an unwitting participant. Naruto-kun does not steal. He has acquired things that others throw away, and pulls pranks on those that anger him, but he has not stolen, Hinata defended. Naruto squeezed Hinata and whispered, thanks, into her ear. Naruto turned, embracing Hinata, and looked at the Hokage. I want what is mine. I didn't steal and I want to face my accusers. Hell, I don't even get to go into many stores. Most chase me out unless you are there with me. It has been more than a year since I got any new clothes. I love orange, but this jumpsuit is almost like a death sentence. Are you trying to me? He asked. Sarutobi winced, as Naruto had just implied that the Hokage might actually have wanted him dead. No, Naruto, I don't want you dead. As for your inheritance, I will look into it. Am I to assume that you want to leave the village? Sarutobi asked with a sad voice. For a little while, maybe. I need to clear my head and get to know Hinata-chan more, as we're supposed to eventually get married. I'm just disappointed that you didn't trust me enough to give me what my mother wanted me to have, Naruto stated with a tremble in his voice. The academy is out for a few months. You can both take that time to figure out what you want to do. I will fix your inheritance issues for you. Come back safe. I was forced to not allow you to pass the academy exams by a law passed by the Nindaime Hokage. If we were at war, I could have made an exception, but we are not at war, so I cannot pass you unless you accomplish something in the field during your break, Sarutobi explained. Is there anything else you want me to investigate while you are away? Yes, there is. Are there any messages from my father? I already have 2 from my mother, Naruto replied. I will look. So you got the one for your 15th birthday too, I see. The council is happy you didn't graduate. I am sure you know that, Sarutobi explained. I'm sure that they're happy that Sasuke passed with flying colors also. After all, they did all they could to make sure he passed by cheating. Naruto accused. You cannot prove that, can you? Sarutobi inquired. Check my test and check his. Also check the target dummy. As for him cheating at taijutsu, you will have to just take the word of Hinata-chan, Shikamaru, Choji, Kiba, and myself, otherwise you are as corrupt as the others in your so-called honorable council who have stolen from me, Naruto stated. You are not as dumb as you pretend to be, are you? Sarutobi asked as Naruto shook his head. I will look into all the matters we have discussed today. I wish you a happy journey on your vacation. I will also have Kurenai go with you to the bank and have them draw some funds for your vacation. I just hope you don't make it a honeymoon, for I wish to attend the wedding, Sarutobi said with a smile as both Naruto and Hinata scowled at the old man. The group left the tower and headed to the bank. Naruto opened the door for everyone as they went to enter. The guard let everyone in but grabbed Naruto as he walked into the bank. Hey, what are you doing? Naruto yelled as the guard lifted him up off the ground. You demon, are not allowed in here. The guard explained as he felt his legs collapse from underneath him. You will not touch Naruto-san again. Under the orders of the Hokage you will now release him or face me, Kurenai stated. The man looked at the Junin and at Hinata who looked angrily at him. He guessed the Hyuga girl had knocked his legs out from under him but he also faced a Junin so he let Naruto go. The bank manager came over to the incident to see what was going on and saw the blonde in orange. What is going on over here? Oh, him. He is not allowed in here, he said with a scowl. Are there any accounts left for the Uzumaki clan? Iruka asked. Yes, but they are being held by the council for reparations for what that monster did, the manager answered. You understand that I am a Junin, and he is a Chunin? Kurenai asked in a dark voice as the manager nodded. She then added, then you will help out and accommodate us, or I will inform the Hokage that this bank is holding funds that rightfully belong to this boy. He will not be pleased. He will go over your books and if we find just one shoe missing from his account, they will not find you, ever. There is no need to make threats, I am sure his account is in good order. Come to my office so that we do not scare off my other customers, the manager stammered. He led the group to a back office where he left them for about 10 minutes, he then returned with a large set of ledgers with A, U, on them. He brought them into his office. He opened them and paled immediately. Kurenai grinned at the man's discomfort. Is there anything wrong? Kurenai asked as she smiled politely from her chair. The man began to sweat profusely. Well, there do seem to be some errors and closed accounts. I will need some time to look into them, he replied nervously. Iruka looked angrily at the man, and asked, how many Uzumaki accounts are there? The man swallowed hard. There were about 40, now there are only 2 left, a 1 Kushina and a Hana Uzumaki. All the other accounts were closed about 6 years ago. All at once, but I know that they all died before that. The last living Uzumaki, other than the boy there, died about 8 years ago, a 1 Hana Uzumaki. And both accounts have had recent withdrawals. I will look into this. So the boy is claiming to be an Uzumaki. What evidence does he present that he is one? The manager asked. Naruto showed the scroll and that it was a blood scroll. This is a scroll left to me by my mother, Kushina Uzumaki, he explained. The man swallowed deeply. If your mother was Kushina, then you are a well-to-do young man. How much would you like to take out today? He asked. Naruto smirked and looked at Hinata. He then asked, how much would it take to make it so that you and the guard lose your jobs? The man paled. Well, you see, I never hated you. The council just forbade us from dealing with you, he stammered out, obviously lying. Hinata smirked. You didn't answer his question, she stated. The man seemed to regain his composure for a minute. You are a branch member of the Hyuga and therefore are not involved in this, he said smugly. Naruto growled at the man. You will not treat my fiancée that way. She is Hinata Hyuga, former heiress to the Hyuga clan. If you wish to live past today, you will treat her with respect, Naruto threatened, as his eyes became purple with slits for pupils. The man jumped and ran behind Iruka, who just began to laugh. Don't let the demon get me. The manger cried out in fear. You lied. I just want to take some money out for a vacation and to treat Hinata-chan to a nice dinner. If you can't do that for me, then I will go talk to the Hokage. Do I need to talk to him? Naruto inquired angrily. Kurenai stood and smiled evilly. No need, Naruto-san, I think Iruka-san, and I can take care of him, she said a little too happily. The man moved behind his desk and started to cry. No, please, I will fix it, I promise. Every shoe will be accounted for and all the clan holdings will be transferred into his new account. Please don't me. How much do you and your lovely fiancé think you will need for a nice vacation? The man pleaded as he cowered from behind his desk. Naruto, Hinata, Iruka and Kurenai all left the bank with a scroll and smirks. The bank manager was found several hours later, hanging from the ceiling by wires. I am so surprised by the reactions of readers to my comments from last chapter. The funny part is I got more reviews for comments on my opinion and how I was wrong about it. Well, hate to burst some of your bubbles, but it is my opinion and I'm right even if I'm wrong, as it is my opinion. Now, on to other things. The first chapter and this chapter were somewhat angsty, as that is what I planned for the chapters. Chapter 3 is more fun. Also, things will have changed in this story compared to canon. For those who stick to canon and feel stories should stick to that, well, too bad. That is why this is a fan fiction. The characters are based on the manga, and maybe even the beginning of the storyline, but after that it becomes oh, so deal with it. Like my stories, hate my stories, but one thing you can't deny is that you have read up to this point in my story. If that is the case, then I have done what I set out to do, which is to make an interesting story. I know there are a ton of fans that like the light happy Naruto. Well, great, there are quite a few stories like that. I'm not trying to make a Naruto that will burn down the village, but I will call into question how he is treated and, of course, tweak it to my advantage. I have read hundreds of other authors' stories. Some have great storylines, but couldn't spell or the grammar just plain. I try my best to put out a good story. And to those of you who are worried that I will abandon my stories, I will not, unless I either die or I get enough hate mail to do a quick ending. Not my first choice, as I have seen several readers who insult the writers personally, the writer, not the story. I had a few but pushed on and have a few stories that are well liked. Uzumaki of the Whirlpool, and The Avatar and the Demon, are examples of that. I also have stories that have limited readership, Priestess and Lavender Love, and Naruto Happiness. The reader love both of these types of stories. I also have some reader-requested and challenge stories, The Missing Hokage, and The Sound of a Fox Howling at the Moon, soon to be out, reader-requested stories. Then there is this one I wrote because I want to have a fun angsty story and one that pokes fun at Sarutobi for his incompetence at dealing with Naruto, and, again, this is my opinion. Naruto and Hinata got a hotel room that evening, as they were tired, and Hinata didn't want to be near the apartment that night. Naruto sadly agreed with her and he asked Kurenai and Iruka to do something about the bugs in their apartment. Kurenai agreed, but also ordered Iruka to teach Naruto about the birds and the bees, or there would be consequences. Iruka reluctantly agreed to do it the next evening. Naruto and Hinata went shopping for some clothes, so that they could go and spend a few nights in the hotel before they left the village for several months. Iruka accompanied them to make sure that the merchants didn't either refuse service or overcharge the two. Naruto and Hinata agreed to sleep in the same bed, as they were to be married. Naruto quickly fell asleep and began to gently snore and Hinata just watched him sleep, a smile crossing her lips as she lay down beside him and fell into blissful sleep herself. The next day was spent shopping for essential clothes, which caused Naruto to blush, as Kurenai walked Naruto and Hinata into the lingerie section of a clothing store. Naruto had yet to see Hinata in less than a light nightgown. While he was sure that Hinata was pretty underneath, he was surprised that she was so developed for a 12-year-old girl. Hinata had seemed to have broken out of her shell over the past few days, and while she still blushed profusely when close to Naruto, her stuttering and near-fainting spells no longer affected her. Naruto did wonder why she was blushing the night before when he came out of the bathroom, and why she had her Byakugan active. Naruto also was dreading the talk he and Iruka were going to have after lunch. Naruto and Hinata entered the hotel room to find Iruka in the living room with a stack of books. Naruto swallowed hard as he saw how many books he had to cover. Iruka moved the books into the bedroom to give them some privacy, while Hinata and Kurenai moved to the small kitchen and prepared some food for dinner, as they figured this would take a while. After an hour, Hinata became worried, and she heard Naruto scream, "What?" And later Iruka yell, "Naruto, are you all right?" Kurenai put a hand on her shoulder to reassure her that it would be all right. Iruka left the bedroom an hour later with a sheepish grin on his face. Well, that is done. He now knows what is. I have to say that he had a really naive idea of where babies came from and how they were made. I'm not sure how this information will affect him, but he should be okay in a day or so. My only warning is that he will either become a pervert, or he'll hurt them very badly, if he meets any, Iruka explained. Naruto spent the rest of the day locked in their bedroom after Iruka had explained the birds and the bees to him. Naruto was so embarrassed that he actually avoided contact with Hinata if he could. After one night sleeping in the same bed he could no longer stand being there, as he was afraid of what might happen. Iruka and Kurenai finally came over, at the behest of Hinata, to try to fix any misunderstandings that Naruto had, and there were quite a few. Naruto was afraid of becoming a pervert, and ruining himself, as many adult males had done. He was afraid that since he knew his sexy jutsu, he was actually a pervert. Kurenai laughed at this, as she thought he was the anti-pervert, for exposing them and using their own weakness against them. Naruto and Hinata left the village a couple days later. Kurenai reported that the bank manager was now having a visit with Ibiki, and that the funds were mostly accounted for. There was still some investigation into how several of the accounts were closed all at once, but this was an ongoing investigation, with the Hokage pushing for an actual answer. This made Naruto a little happier, seeing as Sarutobi was actually doing something to help them instead of hinder them. Kurenai accompanied him as AC-ranked mission. The Hokage authorized it to be on the village's tab for guard duty for 1 month. They left on their vacation to a nice coastal village and enjoy some time away from the Konoha. The first day outside the village, she gave Naruto and Hinata an assessment test, and found that they were competent and would have made good genin team. Hinata had changed her outfit to a light lavender kimono that was easily removed to reveal a lavender shirt and pants that were dark purple, so dark they were almost black. Naruto wore a white hakama and a black awagi with an orange Uzumaki symbol on the front and the back. The three had made it a couple days out only to run into a group of bandits. Much to the bandits' surprise, these targets could actually fight back. That day, Naruto and Hinata actually made their firsts. One of the bandits was just about to hit Hinata with a sword, only to have Naruto push a kunai into his chest, opening a hole in the man's heart. Hinata was next too, when Naruto went into shock over his first. Another man was going to take off Naruto's head, but missed, as Hinata pushed a gentle fist attack into the man's brain. The man died instantly. Naruto's man lingered for a few moments, and Kurenai was able to dispatch the other 10 bandits with little trouble. Kurenai noticed that Hinata was only slightly disturbed by her first, but Naruto had collapsed to his knees as he looked at body of the dead bandit. Hinata was finally affected, and moved to the side of the road, only to lose her lunch there. Kurenai walked over to Naruto and placed her hand on his back, only to have him jump at the touch. "Are you okay, Naruto?" Kurenai asked in a kind and gentle voice. Naruto looked blankly into Kurenai's eyes. "What have I done?" he asked, thoroughly frightened. Kurenai smiled and gently hugged the boy. "You defended your wife to be from death. That is what you have done," she answered warmly. Naruto finally dropped the kunai. But, I was told it would be easy to someone," Naruto spat out in disgust. He quickly exclaimed, "I feel horrible." Her then bolted up and ran to the side of the road next to Hinata, only to join her in the regurgitating of their lunches. Kurenai moved behind the two and rubbed their backs. "It's never easy to, nor should it be. I would worry if it were, as you would have lost your humanity. I am proud of both of you. Take what you have learned, and remember this. Had you noted them, they would have you. It will become easier, now that you have had your firsts, but if you ever lose the feeling that it's wrong to, please come see me, and we will discuss it. There are times where you can feel justified in taking another's life. Those are few and far between, but sometimes in our line of work it is necessary. Those times are to protect the ones you love and to protect the village. You will also do so when you're ordered to. I'm not saying you shouldn't question about who you're supposed to, but you should do what is needed," Kurenai said, as she continued to minister to the two for about 10 minutes before she began to dispose of the bodies. She stripped the men of all valuables and checked her books to see if any had bounties on them. Those that had bounties were beheaded, and the bodies were put in a pile that she quickly burned. That evening, the three stayed at an inn. Kurenai and Hinata had invited Naruto into the hot springs. Naruto made sure that he kept his towel and blindfold on when he entered the area for the bath. Both Kurenai and Hinata giggled, as Naruto fell directly into the water because he misjudged the distance to the bath. Hinata fished Naruto out of the water. "Are you okay, Naruto-kun?" Hinata asked worriedly. Naruto nodded his head. Is it safe to take off my blindfold? He asked. Kurenai was impressed by his not taking off the blindfold until he was informed that all was clear. Yes, Naruto, you may take it off. I would also like to ask you to show me this jutsu you are so famous for, the one that took out the Hokage, Kurenai politely asked. Naruto pulled off the blindfold, only to show worry in his eyes. Are you sure? I don't mind using it on perverted guys, but to show it to you might get mead, he explained worriedly. I promise you that I will not you Naruto. After all I'm asking you to show me, Kurenai reassured him. Naruto made a ram seal and then called out his jutsu's name. Sexy jutsu, Naruto said, as he was replaced by a well-endowed blonde woman of about 18 years old. Are you going to me now? Naruto asked in a voice that was definitely female. Kurenai shook her head as she inspected Naruto. You did miss out on that class, didn't you? She said with a sigh of disappointment. Naruto wore a confused look on her face. What do you mean? She asked. Kurenai chuckled at the girls' confusion. You used magazines to make this, didn't you? Wait, is it real? She asked as if in shock. Naruto looked at her like she was insane. What do you mean, is it real? Of course it's real. See, feel. Naruto grabbed one of her S and pointed it towards Kurenai. Kurenai looked at him and gently touched the. This is unusual, Naruto. You can do what few others can. Most transformations aren't real. They are just minor genjutsu. If you were given a close inspection of a female and a better understanding of female anatomy, you could pass yourself off as female, and use that skill to infiltrate other places. As it is now, you are just a poor copy of a female with S. I understand why guys fall for it, though. You give them enough to look at that their minds will fill in the rest, and then they become overexcited, thus the blood loss. You can release it now, unless your wife wants to fill you in on what you're missing, and help you perfect it. I would also lose the whisker marks, as they would be a dead giveaway to your identity. Blonde is a nice touch, but can you do other hair colors and different ages? Kurenai suggested, as Hinata blushed at the idea of revealing herself to Naruto, seeing as they were just getting to really know each other. No thanks, Kurenai-sensei. I won't press Hinata-chan to do anything she isn't ready to do, Naruto responded with a kind smile towards Hinata. Naruto had yet to release the transformation. You also know we still haven't had the talk yet, Kurenai said in an authoritative tone. Naruto nodded his head in defeat. When do we start? First we need to discuss human anatomy. You know the basics, as you have shown with your unique transformation, Kurenai explained. The next hour made both the children blush profusely. Naruto, after the talk with Iruka, now understood what was going on and truly could say he did not like Sakura in that way. Kurenai explained both the mechanics and the concepts of what involved in both procreation and birthing. Even with all that he and Iruka talked about, this talk was more in-depth than his discussion before. Naruto seemed an able student, and agreed that he would never take advantage of a woman. Kurenai also discussed the mechanics on the male side, as she knew some of it, but not all, and advised Naruto to seek out Iruka when he returned so that he could get the more personal questions answered. Naruto finally released his transformation. Do I need put my blindfold back on? Naruto asked. Kurenai smirked, and then got a devious grin. Naruto, look at me closely, she said. Kurenai stood and opened her towel as Naruto looked directly at her. His eyes traveled down to her chest, and then hovered there for a second, then traveled down to her crotch. He then pointed at her crotch. You explained it, but I never thought. Oh no, Naruto said, then turned red and immediately turned around. Hinata turned red, but appeared quite angry. I'm sorry, Kurenai-sensei. I didn't mean to be a pervert, Naruto apologized. Naruto-kun, you have nothing to apologize for, Kurenai-sensei, on the other hand, does. She is corrupting my future husband, Hinata said, huffing at Kurenai. Kurenai covered herself back up. I'm sorry, I must be hanging out with Anko too much. Please accept my apology. I didn't mean to insult either of you, Kurenai said, asking for forgiveness. Hinata grabbed a towel from the side of the bath and held it up to Naruto's nose. Are you okay, Naruto-kun? She asked worriedly as she scowled at Kurenai. Kurenai put a hand on Naruto's back, and he flinched at her touch. That was your first view of a real woman, wasn't it? Kurenai asked, as Naruto nodded. Kurenai continued, I won't do it again, but I wanted to make sure you knew what you missed in your transformation. Now use this knowledge and use the jutsu properly. This way we can fit you for some female clothes and use this as a good disguise. If you can pass yourself off as a girl your own age, then you can hide better. Naruto nodded and made a ram seal and called out, sexy jutsu. Naruto turned into a female version of himself around the age of 13. Hinata and Kurenai examined Naruto, then looked at each other and nodded. Much better, Naruto, your powers of observation are very good. You appear to have also used what you learned from our lesson and applied it to your change. Tomorrow, we will have you fitted for a female outfit, Kurenai commented, as Naruto frowned. Kurenai, seeing Naruto's frown, explained, it will help in keeping you both safe. If you figure out how to act like a girl, you will also be able to hide in a crowd. The Hokage told me that you could come under attack from shinobi from Iwa because of your father. He wants you to make sure that, in his words, that damn annoying jutsu does something beneficial for you. Naruto nodded. What do I need to learn other than figuring out how to use the bathroom? He asked. Hinata giggled, as she looked Naruto over with a weird look in her eyes. Naruto-kun, I will work with you on that one later tonight, and no, Kurenai-sensei, we will not do anything, as we aren't married yet, Hinata explained as she blushed. Naruto returned to his normal self and left with the females, not sure what he was in for the rest of the evening. Naruto found that Hinata made the explanation he wanted easier than he thought, as she had an anatomy book. He was able to figure out his problem, and the book explained the female anatomy enough for him to be able to fool Hinata that he was an actual girl. Naruto went to bed in boxers and a shirt while Hinata slept next to him in a nice nightgown. The pair woke up more rested than they had ever been before. Kurenai asked how his transformation went at breakfast, and he explained that Hinata had a book with pictures that had helped. Kurenai asked to see the book, and laughed. They later headed into the garment district, much to Naruto's chagrin. According to the Kurenai and Hinata, Naruto made a very cute girl. They found several kimonos, a shinobi outfit and even a bikini that would fit him in his female form. They debated names for a couple hours and could not decide on one, so they went and found Naruto some clothes for his male self. The final names they came up with were Haruko, meaning sunlight, Hina, meaning sun, and finally Yuko, meaning sunlight or ocean. Naruto even splurged and bought Kurenai a few nice outfits. Over the next few days they decided on using Haruko as Naruto's female name, and Hinata would use Hina as her name while incognito. She would also use a genjutsu to hide her eyes and seal mark. Hinata took to wearing a leather headband that was light tan to cover her curse seal mark. Naruto wondered what kissing a girl would be like. Hinata-chan, can I kiss you, since we're going to be married someday? Naruto asked, as Hinata blushed and nodded. Naruto felt awkward as his face approached hers and they bumped heads. Kurenai laughed at the antics of Naruto and Hinata. Kurenai, not wanting to miss an opportunity to help them, gave some advice. Naruto, hold still. Now make a face like this, Kurenai stated as she positioned his head, and then looked to Hinata. Now Hinata, do the same thing but turn your head this way. Now gently press your lips together and see what happens. The first kiss was light and dainty, and their lips brushed each other. They felt electricity run through their bodies. Hinata wanted to feel it again, so Naruto and Hinata shared their first deep passionate kiss. Hinata fought for control, as the kiss lasted for what felt like an eternity. The kiss slowly broke as they separated and slowly opened their eyes. They each saw happiness and satisfaction in the other's eyes. I know that having a relationship is new to the both of you, so please try to keep your emotions under control, as that could lead to children, which you are both too young for. I will give you 2 months on your own, but I want you to take these scrolls and keep up on your training schedule, Kurenai told the two, as she handed them several scrolls. Kurenai smiled, and said, you're strong enough to protect yourselves from most trouble, but I would warn you to keep a low profile and keep to populated areas so that you will not be ambushed by missing nin. Tomorrow I'll head back, so let's go over the training scrolls, so that if you have any questions, you can ask them now before I leave. The rest of the day was spent discussing what order the scrolls should be used in, and how each of the exercises was to be performed. Naruto needed more instruction, as he knew less about chakra control than Hinata did. Hinata agreed to help him with chakra control, but Kurenai grilled them on their knowledge of the 3 forbidden jutsu. Several key rules were, Hinata was not to use the shadow clone jutsu until her chakra capacity was at least double it was now. They were never to use the eagle sight jutsu both at the same time, for obvious reasons. Naruto was to get his shadow clones to work in tandem with Hinata, so that she could deliver the finishing blow to a strong opponent. Never forget to mourn the deaths of adversaries after you've finished with a battle, but during the battle do not think of those you halved, otherwise you might soon join them, Kurenai said, as she left them for their first night alone together outside of Konoha. Hinata found that Naruto became bored easily, and had to figure ways to keep him occupied while she took care of the mundane things. She purchased sleeping equipment and a tent for them, along with a book of seals for beginners. She also purchased a couple weeks' worth of food and put it in a sealing scroll. Hinata found that while Naruto could read, he was not taught to read well. Hinata found several books and purchased them for their trip. The one thing Hinata didn't have to do is tell Naruto not to train. They would train until she was ready to pass out and then he would train some more. It proved good that Naruto had taken the scrolls his mother had left him, as his taijutsu was horrible to say the least. Hinata helped him work on the kata in the family scrolls. He wanted to move straight to jutsu, but she told him that if he could defend himself, then the jutsu would be more effective. 2 days later, Naruto and Hinata checked out of the inn and headed east towards the ocean. Instead of wearing kimonos, they wore modest travel gear that was not as flexible as their shinobi outfits, but it was better than being caught in kimonos. Just after lunch, Naruto was looking over the bingo books that Kurenai had given him, one on shinobi and one that had the local list of wanted thugs. A couple hours later, a group of 10 bandits surrounded the couple and demanded their money. Naruto looked at the book and back at 2 of the men, back and forth between the book and the men. Hey kid, we want your money, so hand it over and we will just let you go, since the girl's too young for us. Did you hear me? What's that book you're looking at? One of the bandits asked. Naruto finally looked up, closed the book and smirked. He began to count them and nodded. What is with that kid? Is he touched in the head, boss? Another bandit asked. About 3,000 ryo here, and we can either bring them in dead or alive, Hina-chan, Naruto explained. Several of the bandits drew their swords and moved to attack only to hear. I would just give up if I were you. We don't want to you, Hinata softly explained. All 10 bandits began to laugh so hard they fell on the ground. Naruto quietly created 20 shadow clones, disarmed the bandits, and began to tie them up before they were able to regain their wits about themselves. Hey, how did you do that? You beat us without even getting a scratch. One of the bandits shouted, as Naruto finished binding them. You were overconfident, and thus we were able to easily defeat you, Naruto explained, as the bandits just shook their heads. The clones quickly took all valuables away from the bandits. They then dragged them off to the local constable. They were able to get 4,000 ryo of bounty for the bandits. Naruto refused to give his name, and the constable thought he was too young to be a bounty hunter. When Naruto and Hinata explained that they were shinobi in training and were on break from the academy, the man took the prisoners and gave them the bounty without any more questions. Naruto and Hinata found the walk to the next coastal village refreshing, as there were no bandits. 2 days later they saw a couple of figures on the horizon. One was carrying a massive sword on this back, and the other appeared feminine or was female. Naruto shifted the sword he had to a harder to reach position so that he would not cause the man with the really big sword to feel threatened. As the two groups approached each other, the stances became more pronounced as shinobi. Both pairs stopped about 20 feet from each other to size each other up. Naruto decided that being quiet was better than trying to annoy a man who wore a mist headband. He was tall with short cropped black hair. He wore white camouflage pants and a gray shirt. The man looked at both of the children and saw the sword. He began to laugh. How are you supposed to defend yourself if you do not wear the sword properly? He asked pointedly. Naruto looked up at the man with a slight grin. Well, I knew there was no way I could even try to fight someone like you with this hunk of steel, so why show it in a way that might cause you to attack? Naruto asked, as the man put his hand to his chin and chuckled. You have a point, kid. Why are you out here? I can tell you have shinobi training by your stances, though they're weak. Haku, here, could teach you both a thing or two about skills. I'm Zabuza Momoki, Zabuza began to explain, as Naruto flipped through his book. Demon of the Bloody Mist, items of interest are that he is a master of the silencing technique, one of the 7 swordsmen of the Hidden Mist, and had made a failed assassination attempt on the Mizukage, Naruto rattled off from his bingo book Kurenai had given them. No offense Zabuza-sama, but we are on vacation and want no problems with you, Naruto pleaded. I like you kid, you have some guts for what, a genin at best. You are brave to read off my description from a bingo book and not either piss yourself or run away, Zabuza commented with mirth in his voice. Naruto sighed. First, I would have to protect Hinata-chan here, even if it cost me my life, and second, running would only get used quicker, Naruto stated bluntly, as Haku and Hinata both giggled at Naruto's chivalry. True, so are you genin on break or what? You seem too young for anything else unless you're protégés, Zabuza stated, as he looked at them. We failed out of the academy, so we are not even genin. We're currently just skilled civilians until next time the academy starts, Naruto admitted to the missing nin. Zabuza looked at the kid awe-struck at how easily the boy gave up information. Look kid, you talk too much. I like you, so here's some advice. Ask more questions than you answer. A shinobi learns as much as he can about those he meets. You gave me enough information that you know about being a ninja but do not know enough to be one. Do you even think you can take a life? Do you know that it is required for shinobi to end lives? He asked. Naruto nodded his head, as he knew that was a fact of being a shinobi. Zabuza-sama let us take them with us so that you can show them how to be shinobi, like you did for me. Haku stated with a blush. Hinata spoke up finally. You're a girl. Haku shook her head quickly. No, I'm a boy, she whispered. Hinata shook her head. Yes, I'm a boy. Haku exclaimed emphatically. Naruto sniffed the air and smirked. Nope, definitely a girl, light perfume scent. Naruto and Hinata froze. Hinata fell to her knee as they felt waves of intent, not from Haku but from Zabuza. Naruto was still able to stand and actually look Zabuza in the eyes. Zabuza intensified the intent until Hinata began to breathe hard and Naruto's knees began to shake. Then, as suddenly as it started, it was gone. I'm impressed Gaki, you're still awake after that. I will teach you to use a sword, boy, and Haku-chan, Zabuza said, then saw Haku glaring at him, and asked, what? They both figured it out. The boy has good senses and the girl has good observation skills. So you two have a choices, either come with us or you now. I promise I will drop you off in your village after you learn what it truly means to be a shinobi. So will you become my tools? Naruto put a smile on his face and scratched the back of his head. Hinata bowed and spoke for both of them. We will do as you say Zabuza-sensei, she answered meekly. I like her too, kid. You keep both the girls alive, and I might let you marry them both. Zabuza exclaimed, as Haku and Hinata both blushed. Naruto opened his mouth but shut it quickly, as he thought it better not to tell the man too much so that he couldn't use it against him later. If that is your wish, Zabuza-sensei, Naruto said, as he dropped his head in resignation, hoping that Hinata wouldn't him if he had to fulfill that particular promise. Zabuza nodded, as he stepped forward and pulled Naruto's sword out of its scabbard. What the hell is this? A pig poker, it has nicks and a dull blade. Did you hope to someone by bludgeoning them to death? Zabuza asked, as he grabbed the sword and bent it, then said, see what it did to me, not even a scratch. Where did you get this piece of junk from? Naruto spoke up quickly, not wanting to receive the wrath of his new sensei. It's the best we have from the bandits we have captured, Naruto admitted. Is that the best you have? If so, then we will have to get you a new one, Zabuza said, then noticed a gleam in Naruto's eyes. Okay, out with it Gaki, you have another one don't you? Naruto nodded as he pulled out the scroll from his mother and applied both blood and chakra to the seal inside of the scroll. A beautiful handle and sheath appeared in his hand. The handle and sheath were red with several decorative swirl patterns on it, along it with a fox with 9 tails wrapped around the sheath. The sword sheath ended at the hilt of the sword, as if you were pulling the sword out of the fox's mouth. Everyone's mouth dropped at the beautiful red lacquer finish of the sheath, and the golden fox and swirls. The handle was wrapped in black cloth and had a golden hilt with 9 of what could only be described as tails coming from the hilt to make a swirl. Naruto slowly drew the sword and looked at the blade. It looked nearly new, blue steel. All Naruto could do was whistle. Zabuza smirked below the bandages on his face. That is an exquisite sword, kid. That is to be used for real fighting and not for learning. We will get you one for learning and you can use that one for actual combat, but first take this, Zabuza said, as he threw Naruto what looked like a large stick. Naruto quickly sheathed the sword and put his hand up and caught the stick. He looked more closely at the stick to see that it looked like a wooden sword with seals on it. Naruto looked quizzically at Zabuza. What is with the stick? He asked. Zabuza chuckled. It's a training sword, so that you don't cut yourself, he asked. Naruto scowled at the sword but put it in his belt. Naruto then sealed his mother's sword back in the scroll, and asked, okay, what do I do now? Zabuza smirked at the question, and answered, push some chakra into the training sword and see what happens. Naruto pushed a little chakra into the sword, only to find it weighed a ton and it pulled his hands to the ground. What the hell? He shouted, as he became very annoyed. Not too good with chakra control, eh Gaki? Zabuza teased. Naruto shook his head as he stopped the flow of chakra to the sword and it lightened slowly. So it's used to build up my strength? He asked. Good call Gaki, now I need names for my new tools and if anybody asks, Haku is a boy. This way we can keep her safe when I'm not around. I would also tell your girlfriend that she should hide herself from being a girl, as it will attract less attention. We are heading to Wave Country to get some work from the shipping magnate Gato. He has hired us to do a job, Zabuza explained. We are also going to meet up with a couple of guys that will be there soon. I don't trust them, but they are also missing Nin. They are the demon brothers, and I really advise we hide the fact that your girlfriend is a girl or you may have to fight a couple of Chunin over her virtue. Naruto nodded, as he sort of understood. Then we should get some new clothes in the next town. Zabuza nodded as he looked at his two new tools. I need to know what to call you, so give me your real names, and, just so you know, I can tell when you're lying, Zabuza threatened. Naruto stood in front of Hinata. Fine sensei, my name is Naruto Uzumaki, and this is Hinata soon to be Uzumaki, he answered. Zabuza put his hand on his chin and thought. Naruto is a rare name, but we can live with it unless we run into people from your home village. As for Hinata-chan, we should give her a boy's name, for when we aren't alone, so that she can try to pull the same act as Haku-chan here. Now what do you have as capabilities? Zabuza asked. Naruto looked down as if he didn't want to answer. Come on Naruto-kun, we need to know a baseline so that he can begin your training. What skills and jutsu do you know? We will find out eventually, so it would be easier in the end, Naruto-kun. Release, Haku said, as Hinata's eyes reverted to their natural lavender color. Look what we have here, a Hyuga, are you a main or a branch member? She has a bloodline like you Haku-chan, though yours deals with ice and hers is a dojutsu, Zabuza explained to Haku as Hinata removed her headband revealing her seal. Zabuza sighed in pity, and said, a branch member, that's fine, but we should also work with you on ninjutsu so you can hide the fact that you're a Hyuga. Naruto sighed, I don't want to betray the Iruka-sensei or Kurenai-sensei. I'm not asking you to give me your jutsu. Just tell me what you know, so that I can see what you lack and we can work on it, Zabuza proclaimed. Naruto sighed. I know transformation, substitution, eagle eye, shadow clone shuriken, and shadow clone jutsu, he replied. Zabuza and Haku were shocked that this boy knew several forbidden jutsu from Konoha. Zabuza turned to Hinata and raised an eyebrow. Well, he would have if he had one. Hinata sighed, as she didn't want to see Naruto hurt and was happy that Naruto was willing to defend her. I know the basics for Juken, transformation, switch, eagle eye, shadow clone shuriken, standard and shadow clone jutsus, she explained. Zabuza sighed. Okay, how many effective shadow clones can each of you pull off? Naruto-kun can make hundreds, as he has nearly Junin chakra capacity, if not higher, but I, on the other hand, can't make any and still be effective. Naruto-kun has a high chakra capacity, thus he has very low chakra control, Hinata admitted sadly as she hugged Naruto. Well, you're in luck, Gaki. Haku-chan here will work you to the bone on chakra control. I'm sure the girls have great chakra control, so we should get you up to speed and get you leaning chakra control. First, push some chakra into these pieces of paper and don't ask questions until you do as I say, Zabuza ordered, as he pulled 2 sheets of paper from his pouch from behind his back. Naruto and Hinata both took one piece and did as they were told. Naruto's split in half while Hinata's became wet and soaked with water. Good. Naruto, you have wind element in prominence, while Hinata here has water. Haku-chan here had both of those in even amounts, so she can use ice. Now we need to teach you both how to harness jutsu of your element, and others. We will teach both of you water jutsu. Naruto, you will have to push more chakra into a water jutsu for it to work correctly. You're just lucky you aren't a fire element, or it would take around 4 times as much chakra to do a water jutsu. I think Haku-chan might have a wind jutsu or two, Zabuza stated as Haku nodded.